Was this before or after he condemned walls within a walled city? You cannot say that you are a steward of God while endorsing sin. It just does not work. Then on the other side of the ocean, liberals just do not like that President Trump is mocking them for their lawfare. On a side note, it is a shame on all journalists when any of them repeat this conspiracy theory. Just saying. So in other words, Miss Sorensen believes that Garcia was not an illegal and a wife beater. Both are criminal offenses. If he was deported illegally, that would be an issue. However, he was deported legally. Do you remember any Democrats who went to Palestine to get back American hostages? Neither do I. That is because they were not guaranteed to vote for Democrats. Let me break Mr. Heller's prattle down a bit. Well, if they were not doing anything, why should they be paid? Even if this was true, maybe it can be better handled at the state and local levels. Good. Let us get rid of all of those racist programs. Judge people based on merit, not melanin. And this never happened. Why would the richest man in the world be interested in your bank account? Even if he was, there is no proof. Only for those who are over 150 years old. And if they are still retired, we have the world's best medical system. If he actually cared only about money, he never would have gone for this position. Just as President Trump forgoes his paycheck, it is not about the money. Mr. Heller just loves his prattle. Let me break Mr. Bowling's gibberish down a bit. This is such a ridiculous false comparison that I do not think that it can even be called a false comparison. It is just propaganda. Where there are so many deaths caused by people wielding guns that the people have become numb to it. True, but it does specifically forbid the government from taking them. In every society where the government took weapons from civilians, or forced them to hand said weapons over, countless civilians were killed. This is just exaggerating a problem to make a not-so-witty joke. And people wonder why I take time to mock liberals. Mr. Bowling just loves his gibberish. Actually, most farmers are not concerned about tariffs. 1. The production for the machines is here in America, creating a stronger economy with which to buy goods. 2nd, with all the lowered tariffs from all of these countries, the farmers can sell their food to more people. In the end, everyone wins. Yes, the man who gives up his paycheck is the arrogant one. Even Bill Bring on the Recession Maher admitted that President Trump was humble. And there's nothing merciful or empathetic about handing your nation over to trendy Aragua and MS-13. A fact that these nuns are unaware of. I keep forgetting that the liberal media still has their Russia collusion hoax. In other words, anything that could benefit Russia is proof of this imaginary bias. We must give 100% of our support to the Ukrainian oligarchy, as opposed to the Russian oligarchy. This after Zelensky turned down a ceasefire just to get more money to launder. I mean to buy weapons for the defense of Ukraine. His next mission is to ensure that none of the leprechauns steal from the fairies. Name one autocrat in human history who fought to limit government, did not target his political enemies, and gave away his paycheck. If that is the fascist that Mr. Lukovich is worried about, his facts are severely mixed up. Either way, him being a felon really does not mean much. Both St. Paul and Martin Luther King Jr. were felonious in their day. The definition is so broad that it is meaningless. There is no evidence to convict Patel or Bondi on that imaginary crime. Then there are the judges who ignore federal law, and even house the illegals. It is nice that these judges are being held accountable for their crimes. This is a straw man argument. If these girls had MS-13 tattooed on their foreheads, or on their knuckles, then Mr. Anderson may have a point. I see a lot of people every day with tattoos. And they are not the main determining factor. As I mentioned a moment ago, the idea of being a felon is a nebulous term at best. Even so, Garcia is a wife beater, and 2 judges have confirmed his connection to MS-13. He also has lawful deportation orders, and he lost, despite the media industrial complex being behind him. The lawfare against President Trump did not affect the Teflon Don, despite the media industrial complex being against him. Actually, no. The rule of law is very much in place, and will be there, hopefully, for years to come. What was dismantled was the lawfare that we need absolutely none of. There is a reason that they call him the Teflon Don. Ironically, those who targeted President Trump are now the ones in legal trouble.